All right, so now we've got our stuff here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and I'm just going to put a thing here for our a little bit of text. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to my text layer, and I'm just going to use text. So I want to show you this too real quick. Don't do this. I'm just showing you. I'm on text. Why is it? Okay. I can actually put text inside of my placeholders as well. So the placeholders are really good. This text frame, rectangle frame tool, it's really useful for that, like that sort of thing. I'm just going to go ahead and draw one out just with the text tool itself. So I'm just going to click and drag, and I'm just going to snap it like that. And I'm just going to write, what is your baby wearing? Question mark. Okay. So basically I was doing the W, like I'm just turning the mustache around to make it look like it's a W as opposed to an M. So that's the idea. And that way it kind of, bookends basically the thing. I don't know. I'm not a graphic designer. Don't look at me like that. Okay. So what is your baby wearing? That's what we're going to write. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and go to Les Properties. Well, we have this in here, and we can look to see what we have, right? So you're going to notice that there's two sections here. There's paragraph styles and then character styles, okay? Let's see, paragraph styles. Let me see. It's not really changing too much. Okay, so getting all my options here. I guess I have most of it. All right, well, we'll just work with what this is. That's weird. Okay, so I guess we'll say that this is this. So I'm just going to go ahead and, hang on. So I'm just going to go ahead and change this font. So I just want to do something that reads a little bit better. So I'm just going to, come on, open up. There we go. Oh my God. Sorry, my computer is it doing it? No, it's not doing it. Okay. There. Oh my God. Okay. I'm having... All right, my computer seems to be having issues. You know what it might be? It might be this, my little screen thing here. Let's see, can I move you? Come on, get out of the way. Ugh. Undo that. Undo that. Okay, we can't undo that. So, sorry, I have like a screen capture software, and I'm trying to put my... Come on. There. Did I get it? No, there. There it goes. All right, that might be what was in the way. So I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to double click on this, and that should, okay, bring back open. Good. Okay. So let's see if now it'll work. Come on. There you go. For whatever reason, my camera capturing in the corner, if it overlaps stuff, sometimes it like interferes with it, and I'm not sure why that is, but it's a weird thing. So that's why it was not working. So sorry about the interruption there. Anyway, so I'm just going to look through, and I'm just want to do a font. So if you remember before, I said is that you generally want to do like a font that's going to draw people in for like your titles, and then for large bodies of text, you want to have basically simple, legible text. Okay, so this is kind of like a tagline, like a final thing. So this is somewhere in the middle. I'm not looking for something that's going to draw them in because this is kind of what I'm leaving them with, but it's not something that's going to be super. It's not going to be super simple either. So I'm just going to go through and see what I have here. If you're doing this with me and you're playing around with it, just choose whatever you want. I need something bold because it's going over top of his patterned shirt. So it has to be a little bit thicker. Let's go with this one. Okay, so I'm going to do that, and then basically you have the typical things that you would see, right? So here's obviously font size. Oops, I didn't actually have it selected, so let's do that again. Let's do Rockwell bold, extra bold. Let's do Rockwell extra bold. We'll do regular. Okay, it's only regular, and then so we have font size here. And what that's going to do is obviously change the size of the font. So what is your baby? Okay, let's go a little bit smaller. Actually, let me show you that. So, see, it thinks, maybe I'll move this over on the other side. God bless it. Undo that. Hit V. Oh, it undid the... Oh my god, come on. I think I got it. Okay, good. We're going to put it over there. All right. So if you look here, see how it's showing this, and then it says, what is your baby wearing? And then it's a little hyphen. See how there's a little plus there? Basically, that means that now all the information is fitting inside the frame. And that's kind of that's its way of letting you know. Now, there is a way to actually connect one section to another section. But we're not going to do that here anyway. But I just want you to see that that exists. So I'm just going to go back on there. Control A. Oops, come on. Control A. There we go. Select it all. And I'm just going to change the size here down a little bit. Let's try 24. Okay, 24 looks good. Now, the other things here are kind of interesting. I'm actually not going to play around with these. I'll do it in the next one just so that you can see it there. But we'll call that good for that. Let me see. Insert footnote. No, where that's acceptable. Okay. So we'll call that good. I'm just going to put this a little bit tighter to that so that let's go over one. Just so it associates a little bit better. And let's do... I just want to make it in line with that. Okay, good. So that's in there. That looks fine. Let's see if we can do... Where are you? Not these. Type on path. See it in there. Is it here? No. There should be a way. I'm not seeing in there. I don't know where it went. Anyway. Okay, so we'll call that good for now. What is your baby wearing? That looks good. Okay. So the other thing I want to do is I'm just going to have like a longer bit of text that goes right here. So what I'm going to do is this. So this I wrote directly into it. And that's fine. You know, you can write directly into it. But this isn't necessarily the best typing software, right? It doesn't necessarily tell you whether something's mistyped or anything like that. So that'd be better to do in Word. So again, you're the graphic designer. You're the graphic designer, you're not the photographer, and you're not the editor. You're not the writer. So they should give you those materials, and then you would place them on this, okay? So we can do the same thing we did before. I'm just going to go ahead and use my rectangle frame tool, and I'm going to start up here. Click and drag, and go like this. And we'll go about halfway through, a little bit over top of him. And I'm just going to go ahead and do File, Place. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. I don't know what I just did there. I hit something. Place. I was trying to do CC Libraries. No, thank you. That was an accident. So File, Place. And I'm going to choose Add Text. Ba-doop. And it's going to automatically, hopefully, put it in there. There you go. So now we have our Add Text automatically in there. And there it is. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to double click, Control A to select it all, and let's just go ahead. I'll leave it at the default. I don't really care, but I'm going to make it a little bit larger. Let's say 30. Let's do 48. Okay. So probably should just do. Let's just do Rockwell again, just so it's the same. Rockwell. But we won't do bold this time. We'll just do, we won't do extra bold. We'll do regular bold. Okay. So, did that change? There it goes. Okay. So now we have this thing going on here, and that is good. There's some things I don't want to have in there, though. Okay. So, one of the things is this. Right off the bat, we see these hyphens. That's generally not a good thing. They make it hard. So you see how it says accessories. This should be deprived, by the way. I don't know why depraved. I don't even know if that's a word. Okay, but see how it says accessories? I don't like the hyphen. All right. Now, one of the things is when we look down here, there's actually more options than what you're currently seeing. I think they're trying to streamline the UI, so it's a little bit different than it used to be. There used to actually be another toolbar up top, and they actually removed it. But if you click on these little things here, they actually give you more options. So the one I care about, this is more about character, so meaning like the text. And this is more about paragraphs, and this is more of a paragraph thing. So I'm going to hit the little 3 dots here, and you'll see hyphenate. I want you to turn that off. That will remove the hyphen. We don't want the hyphen. That's not good. Okay. We still want to do left alignment because I want to keep the alignment the same with everybody else. And the rest of this is fine. What I want to show you now is basically the stuff dealing more with the character. Okay, so we already played around with this. We can choose bold or not bold, you know, the typical. We can choose the font size. But then over here, we have some other options. So right here, we have line height. And so basically, this will change the distance from each line. So if I make this number lower, so I forget where it was at. What was it? Oh, I didn't see where it was at. Let's say we do 12. It's going to be really jammed up. And if we do 36, it's a little bit closer. 48. 48 looks okay. Okay, so it looked too much before, so I just lowered that number. But basically, you can adjust the line height. This is tracking. And so what that's going to do is basically it's going to generally spread the words or unspread them. So if you look, I'm looking at it, and I shouldn't say the words. It's not the words. It's actually the individual characters. So I'm looking at it. It's they're a little bit far apart. So I'm going to squish it just in general. That's a little bit too much. Let's go back a little, right there. I just felt like each character was a little bit too far from each other. And then we have horizontal scale, which I don't want. We don't need italicized. Baseline shift, that just is going to move them up or down. So the baseline is the line that it's drawn on, but so I don't really need to do that. Okay, so this is kerning. So kerning allows you to move individual letters. So basically, let's say, let's get a little bit closer here. I don't really have... Okay, so see how this A and the N are actually bleeding into each other while the rest of them have gaps? What I could do is I could click in between the A and N, and then with the kerning here, if I add a little, let's say 5, it's going to... That's a little not quite enough. Let's do 10. It's going to put... Oh, that's even not enough. This one right here. It's going to shift the text over on an individual character. So it's kind of the same thing as tracking. Tracking does the overall. The kerning will do each individual one. So I might go, okay, I wish this C was a little bit closer to this A. So I'll go right here, and then I'll just go to the kerning, and then I'll just do like -10, and that will shift it over. Or -50, and that was too much. Let's say -25. And that'll just allow you to individually. So obviously you don't want to go through a whole big, like if you have a lot of text to go through the whole thing. But if you're doing like a title screen or something like that, it might be worth going individually and fixing some of that stuff if you feel that you need to. Okay. So basically that's what these are for the lump sum of what you see there. I think that's pretty good. Okay. So the next thing I want to do is to do this. So on this text, when you're looking at it, see how it's overlapping his face? I would rather instead that it like wrapped around his face. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Window, Text Wrap. Okay. Then what we're going to do is I actually have to grab the picture, not the text itself, because we need to know what we want the text to wrap around. So I'm going to go to text row, so window text wrap. Then we're going to go to pages, or not pages, sorry, layers. I'm going to unlock the images so I can select them. And I'm going to go ahead and select this picture. And then I'm going to choose text wrap. And I want it to wrap around the object shape. Okay? And you're going to see, oh no, that's not what I wanted, was it? Doesn't really look that good. Because what it's wrapping around is the border. It's wrapping around this. So if I actually... Oh, it's not showing up down here. I thought it would show up down there at least. I thought I'd get a little something. But basically, it's cutting it off. It's wrapping around the outside border box of it, not the alpha channel of the image itself. But we can change that. So right down here, you can... Not that one. You'll see right now it says same as clipping. So this is the clipping. I want to do the alpha channel. Click on that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to see actually the alpha channel pop up here. And I'm not, wait. Should be alpha channel. Why is that? That text is not wrapping well. Let me see something. Yeah, so that's there. All right, so it is actually working. I did, the reason why it wasn't working is, where's my text wrap? So we have the text wrap on. The reason why it wasn't working the way I wanted it to was because the words are so long that they don't fit in here. And since I turned on hyphenating, none of the words are small enough to fit in here. So I actually have to change the size of this text. So I'm just going to click in here on any letter, just double click in there, and then Control A to select all. And then if we change the font size, let's do 30, it will then be able to fit. Can I get away with 36? Yeah, 36 works. Okay. So, yeah, we just need to change the font size because basically these were not fitting inside of the text wrap. So now it will subsequently try to fit inside of it. All right. So now it's going around the outside of this baby, right? And let's just pull this border down a little bit, and you can see how it's following that. So I'll put it up to here, and then we'll just put that there, and then you can see basically it's now following that alpha. All right. Now, that's great. That's what I wanted. I'm going to go ahead and go back to my layers and lock my images again. But one of the things I didn't want was this. This is also doing that. I didn't want this one to do it. I just wanted that one to, right? So what I can do, though, is select this and then go to Object. Let me see. Text Frame Options. And then Ignore Text Wrap. Ba-doop, and hit OK. And what it's going to do is that is not going to care about what the text wrap is and basically disregard it, like I guess the name suggested. All right. Okay, so let's Control minus. All right, so hopefully, and so another thing so we need to do a couple things real quick here so I can show you, and that's this. So if you look at the picture, see how the picture looks kind of crummy? If I get real close, see how it's really pixelated? The picture is actually not pixelated. What it's doing is it's giving you a preview. The reason why it's giving you a preview is that you have to remember this is actually made for a multi-page document. So if you're linking all these pictures, and let's say this is like 100, let's say there's 100 pages, right? Which isn't really that crazy. That would be a lot. Like that would be a really, really, really a lot. So what it does is it basically creates a low-res preview for you. But if you did want to force it, you can do it on an individual basis, where if I unlock it, I can click on it and then right-click and go to Display Performance. And then you can do high-quality display on an individual picture if you want that picture to be particularly. Or, which I wouldn't suggest doing because I don't think that, unless you need it for a specific reason, generally leave that alone. Or what you want to do is go to let me see, screen mode, and you'll see that basically there's normal, which is what you're working in. There's preview, bleed, and slug, and then there's presentation. If you do preview, that's going to give you basically this kind of thing. And then if we do presentation, where are you? Display, screen mode, and we'll do presentation. It's actually, this is what you would use in order to display it. And so when you click, it would go to the next page and what have you, but ours obviously isn't going to do that. So I'm going to hit escape and get rid of that. But you can also obviously do display performance and do high quality display. And then now you can see when I look at my pictures, it's much higher res, right? It's not pixelated anymore. But it's also lagging a little bit. And I only have one picture, so you can only imagine. You're going to notice that when you open up InDesign, it's very, very slow. Like, I think it's oddly slow for what it does. Like Photoshop does like crazy things, and this, I'm not saying it doesn't do like amazing things, but it's this. It's not creating stuff, so I don't know why it's so slow. But anyway, so those are basically the things that we're looking at. So I'm gonna go back to my view and go display performance and just do fast. Fast display makes it so it's just the typical display. There we go. Okay. So, if you remember earlier, I'm going to go ahead and lock this. If you remember earlier, I told you that if you give me just this file, if you give me the InDesign file, if you give it to me, just the InDesign file, I'm going to blow up at you and be so angry. Super angry. I'm telling you right now, everyone pay attention. Because this every semester I go through this. You can't just give me this InDesign file. It will not work. So this is what you need to do. When you are done with your magazine ad, you need to make two, by the way. They may be of the same thing, or it could be two separate things. But basically, I want you to advertise something. It could be whatever you want. It could be perfume. It could be tacos. It could be baby mustaches, right? You could do two advertisements for tacos, like two separate ones. They need to be different, though. They can't be the same thing. Like, they can sell the same taco, but they can't be like, oh, I made a blue background and this one's a red. Need to be significantly different. Or you can do two completely different things. But I just want 2 magazine ads. When you are done with your assignment and you go to upload it, this is what you have to do. First, you do have to save this. So I'm going to go ahead and do File, Save As. And I'm going to save it. I'm just going to save mine right to the desktop. And I'm just going to call it week 08 example ad. Okay? And I'll hit save. Okay. Again, a million times over. Where are you? Where is that stupid file I just saved? I can't find it. Somewhere over here. There it is. It's very slow. This file, this InDesign file, and this is the working file. This file, this InDesign file, that is not your assignment. You hand that in, it's not. I'm gonna give you an F. Don't hand that in. That does that. You're not. You don't go, oh, I'm done, and then send that. That will not work because I don't have the images that are in it. Whatever you included, like this picture, or even your fonts or any other images, they're not going to show up. So when you are done, what you need to do is first save it, just like I did, and then you need to package it. So you're going to go to File, Package, ... It's very suspenseful. That's fine. Just hit Package. It's going to ask you where you want to save it, and we'll just save. I'm just going to save it as a folder called what it was. You can turn on these different things. Just leave the ones on. They're fine. The defaults are good. Just hit OK. I'll explain what this is after. And it doesn't make you do that anymore. And then I'm going to show you what this did, because this is what's actually really cool about InDesign. All right. It made this folder. It's the same name as the InDesign file that I originally had. It made this folder. And when I open it up, let's make this big, it has these items in it. Now, what I want you to remember is that this InDesign is made generally for the printed page, okay? So what that means is that you're going to take whatever you're making and you're going to have to send it off to a printer, right? To a print shop that's going to print out your book. They're going to print that out for you. So you need to send them the file so that they can print it. What you do is you package it and then you send it to them. And what this does, it's super awesome. The package makes a folder, and in that folder, it'll have the InDesign document that you had. It will have a links folder that has a copy of all the pictures that you used. So when I go to double click on this InDesign document, it already has the pictures right here. So as long as I have this whole folder, they all exist together, okay? It also actually includes the fonts. So, you know, like if you ever made something in like Word or, I don't know, PowerPoint or something on one computer, you're like, it looks great. And then you go to present it in class, and like your cool fonts that you chose, the Ransom font that said, give me an A, that you put on there is no longer Ransom font. Now it's just like Arial or something. Because basically that computer you put it on didn't have that font. It didn't have the font you had at your home computer. One of the things that this also does is it actually puts copies of the fonts that you used also in there. So it also puts the font. So basically anything that's in that InDesign document that you just created, it puts them in folders and creates copies of them. It puts them in there. And then what happens is that when you send it off to the print shop, they can just open this up and all the other items that are in there that they need are included. It's honestly super freaking awesome because I do 3D stuff and we do a lot of interconnection things, and you have to just make a good file folder structure and just make sure you're on top of your game, because otherwise you just lose stuff. The other thing it does, which I also super duper appreciate, is it creates a PDF, which for me is great because I can just click on that and open it up, and it's probably going to ask me, do you want to open this up in something? Oh no, it actually just opened it up. And it gives you a preview PDF. And what's nice about this is I can print this at any, I mean, I can go to friggin', Office Max and print this out, right? I mean, this, basically it's your document, but it's flattened as a PDF. So they could literally just print this. If all else failed, this would still work. So you would lose nothing. So, which is awesome. So when you are done, you're going to package such as you saw. Then what I want you to do is you're going to take this little package here, this folder that has all that business in it. You're going to right click and you're going to go, if you're on a PC, you're going to right click, go send to compressed zip folder. It's going to go, hopefully it makes that noise if you're lucky. Come on. It's going to make a zip folder. If you're on a Mac, it's right click and then it's just compress. And then it will make a zip folder. And then when the zip folder, it sounds like I'm saying zip folder. When the zip folder's done, this is what I want you to submit, the zipped folder. Because in that zipped folder is your stuff. It has all the things that made your magazine. Okay? That's what you're going to submit. This zipped folder. So help me God. If you do not submit it to me, I'm going to give you a negative F. It's going to retroactively hurt your grades. No, but for real though, make sure you package it, put it in the zip folder. You need to do 2 ads. It could be a variation of one thing. It could be 2 separate things. Try to be creative, do something different, explore with the program. For some of you, this will work really well. You'll be really into it. It'll really jive with you. For others of you, maybe not as much. You guys have been great. Like the last semester, you did awesome. I was really worried about how things would go just because it's online. This is the first time I ever taught this course online. And, I'm not there to kind of whatever. And you guys followed the materials really well. And honestly, I thought you were really creative. I thought stuff was really funny. So I'm excited to see what you guys make. So just let's keep it up this second half of the semester. And we'll be good to go. Hopefully I get to see you guys someday, But other than that, good luck, guys.